Jason the Bearded One here, and today we're going to discuss installing the dishwasher. So, a couple things you're going to need. First thing you're probably going to need is one of these. This is a dishwasher kit. Okay, it has a universal supply line and a couple of adapters. You can get this at Home Depot, Amazon, pretty much any hardware store you can find this. Also, you'll need the cord adapter. Ours is hardwired in, which means there's actually a wire coming out of the wall. Well, this is going to be wired into the fuse panel. So we didn't need the cord extension or adapter on this one. Another thing you're going to need is a little T. Okay, I'll show you this little thing. It's 3/8 T. All right, and all it is for your hot water line. Okay, that way you can take not only to your sink, but also to your dishwasher. You'll need a couple short little screws. I use little sheetrock screws. Okay, you'll need a drill, some thread tape, and if this is a new install or new cabinets, you're gonna need a drill bit to drill through the side of the cabinet over here and make a hole for you to run the drain line and the water supply line underneath the cabinet. So I use paddle bits, a little bit like that. Okay, so you can pick up a set like this at Home Depot or Amazon or really any hardware store. So what you're going to do is you're going to drill a couple holes underneath the cabinet over here. Since this is a new cabinet, and we want a hole the size of your drain pipe, and one big enough for the end of the supply line to come through. Okay? So you can either do two smaller holes, or you do one big hole. Now another thing you're going to need is you're going to need a little strap. I use a piece of aluminum, or you can get some plumber's tape that's a strap that has holes already in it. But what you're going to do is, by code, this drain pipe needs to be sitting higher than the bottom of the sink, okay, underneath the cabinet, before it goes into either the drain pipe itself off of a T, or in our case, the garbage disposal. So you need a strap, a couple screws, drill, one of these kits. Yeah, so once you've got everything you need, like I said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start drilling the holes over here that we need to fit. We'll run all of our lines through, hook up the supply line, use whatever adapters you need to hook up to the water supply underneath the dishwasher. This cool universal kit comes with all the adapters you should need. Once we do that, we'll shut off the hot water supply line, which is the line to your left. If you're looking underneath the sink, hot water is always on the left-hand side. So if we shut that handle and turn that water off there, we can disconnect the line going up to the sink, install our little T, hook our line back into the top of it. Out of the T, we'll hook up the supply line to the dishwasher. We will hook up the drain line into the side of our garbage disposal. Now, if this is a new garbage disposal or the first time doing a dishwasher, there is a little plug inside that garbage disposal hole that you'll have to pop out with a screwdriver. And then I suggest unplugging it to reach your hand down inside, or disconnect it from the bottom of the sink and get that piece of plastic out inside that garbage disposal. So we're going to start setting all this up. Once we have it hooked up, I'll come back and I'll zoom in and let you see exactly how I have everything ran and show you how it's all hooked up. Okay, so pro tip, this little brass piece, if you happen to have to use it underneath the dishwasher, this metal end that goes into this dishwasher is going to need thread tape. So, best way to put on that thread tape is I get a little better quality of thread tape than the white stuff, the normal white stuff. It's called fast tape. It's gray, okay? Seems to work a whole lot better, less wraps. So what you do is you put it on, get it started, and go the same direction as if you were screwing on a nut. Same direction as if you're tightening it. That way, when you go and put the nut on, or screw this thing on, okay, you just put a couple wraps on, break the tape. That way when you're screwing it on, it's not going to try unpilling the tape. It'll actually screw down the same direction you rolled the tape, and it'll help keep that tape on the threads. Okay, and you won't be fighting that tape back rolling as you're trying to tighten it up. Okay, so now I have it all hooked up. So as you can see, here's the drain line coming into the garbage disposal. And this is where you gotta take that little clip, that little plug out. Here it is. This is what plug looks like. It's up inside this little nipple that sticks out the end of the garbage disposal. So you pop it out with a screwdriver and then fish it out of there. So I just took it off right there. Take these little pins off, push this whole thing that way, untwist, and the whole thing will drop off from underneath the sink. And that's how I got it out. Okay. So there's your drain line hooked up. And you can see it just goes down and drops in. And there's the strap I was talking about. That strap holds that drain line up above the bottom of the sink. That way when water's going into your garbage disposal, it's going to drain out your drain pipe rather than trying to backfill into your drain for your dishwasher. We don't want that. Okay, that water gets sit in there and get stagnant and start stinking. So clip that thing up, drill a hole through the side, and it goes to the dishwasher. The supply line, again, here's that T, okay, sitting up on top of my valve, okay. So all it is a 3/8 T. Right here's my sink line going up to my sink. This is my supply line going to my dishwasher. Okay, coming off the hot water side. Okay, and then underneath the dishwasher over here, it just goes into the bottom of the supply. Okay, and like I said, everything that is on that adapter is in that package. So you do need to thread tape this piece that goes from brass to brass. The hoses, you don't need to thread tape. They have a washer compression fitting type style. There's a rubber washer inside. So just tighten them down and they won't leak. Okay, so now that we got that hooked up, we can hook up the electrical, right? So our wire's hitting down here on the floor. But if you have a plug-in the back there, an outlet, they sell the cords for it. And it's pretty simple. All you do is, you'll see down underneath here. Okay, so the ground wire goes to the little green screw back there. White goes to white, black goes to black with wire nuts. And then there's a little box, little door that goes usually over the front of that. Kind of protects it from getting wet. It's that box right there. Okay, so it just goes over the front of all your wire connections, and then the black pieces go over it. This has a, whoops, almost dropped you there. This has a cloth that goes around the outside of the dishwasher as a sound barrier. So I'll put that on and I'll slide this thing back. I'll hook up the electrical. And then once it's back in place, you just take these little pins, these little clips that are up on top right here, and they just screw to the bottom of your cabinet here. So when you get screws, make sure they're not too long, that they're not going to go through your cabinet, right, your countertop, because we don't want the screw popping through. So make sure they're short enough that they're not going to go through your countertop. And then once you get it set in place, just 2 screws holds it in here, right? And you got feet on the bottom. Them little feet, they do adjust on all 4 corners. So you can adjust it if it sits up too high or too low. Okay, this one sit right about in the middle. I already pushed it back in there and made sure it fit before I started the video. So they do adjust for height a little bit. So yeah, pretty simple dishwasher install. All right, until next time, have a good one.